So there we go. Another week has come and gone. We are back. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, Reggie. I don't know where he's gone. Where is he? He's not there. Rather odd. Early Rivers Greg. Well, who knows where he's gone to. That's a bit bizarre. That's a very bit bizarre. Is he coming? Ah, there he is. He's coming. He's finally arrived.
There was a glitch in the Matrix, sir.
There's a glitch, no less. Outstanding.
I've got my metal T-shirt on in tribute to that, our new theme tune, sir.
Indeed, got to be done. Got to be done.
It looks a bit wrong, to be honest, but isn't. It's a gravestone, allegedly.
Yes, it does look wrong. If it's a little bit too far down, it does look incredibly wrong, sir. I have to say.
Yeah, they were your words, not mine.
No.
Maybe we could pixelate this out for the kids later on.
Absolutely. So, welcome everybody to another edition of Super League Raw. Tonight we will be looking back, of course, at the Challenge Cup weekend that has just been and gone. Really, one fantastic game, another incredible performance in the other one. We'll also take a quick look as well at the Women's Challenge Cup final. I think it'd be rude not to. Good evening to Barry Williams. Barry, as always, joining us from Wakefield Trinity fame. Good to see you, Barry. Welcome along. So yeah, we'll be taking a look at that, and we've also got a couple of things that we're going to do a little bit different tonight, because of course after the Challenge Cup weekend, not as much video to watch, and we'll just fill in the gaps and have a bit of fun. Please,
quite a lot of news over the last few days, though.
Quite a lot of news, yes. Get involved on the chat as we start going through a few bits of fun. Let's jump straight to that, shall we? So, in terms of some of the news, let's get into the main stuff that has been happening over the last week. Starting with, first of all, a little bit of sport here for you, Greg. I've been looking back at our teams of the weeks.
Yeah.
We're up to, of course, round 11. The top performers in our team of the weeks, quite a few on two, so we'll just crack on with these to begin with, and four as well in a minute. But yeah, as you can see there, these are the players that have appeared twice in the 11 weeks. Mike McMeekin, George Williams, very early on in the campaign when Warrington were actually winning. Paul Shane, Conrad Hurrell, Josh Griffin, Greg Eden, Liam Watts, Mitchell Pearce, Josh Drinkwater, Tom Johnson, Harry Smith, Brad Dwyer, George King, Chris McQueen, Lee G. Sow, Jake Connor, Lachlan Coote, and Joe Chan. I was surprised that Chris McQueen was only in it twice when I did that.
I think he had a slow start to the season, didn't he?
Yeah.
I talked about Tom Johnson. I don't know if we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but some news around Tom Johnson breaking.
No time like the present.
Apparently, rumour has it he's signed for Catalan next season. So that's how true that is. I don't know. Maybe our Wakefield fans could enlighten us on that, but certainly saw that in the last hour.
Well, it also lots of reports coming out in the last hour. Obviously, you tipped me off to this earlier in the week that Cassiano and dearie me, come on, Cassiano and Dudson being linked with Warrington. If Johnson does go to Catalan, you'd expect that either one of Tom Davis or Fahad Yahar could be on their way.
Well, I heard Ware was on his way out. So
right, maybe push Yahar into the middle.
Yeah, maybe. He's big enough to play centre.
He is indeed.
Yeah, with the Dudson and Cassiano rumours, you wonder whether one of those is going to be immediate with Warrington or with Wakefield signing Butler from Warrington.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hold that thought. So, in terms of four, who's been in the team of the week 3 times? Would you say what names are you expecting in the top 4?
Blimey, in the top 4. I know who's going to be in every week almost. I would go. Brad Dwyer's there, isn't he, at 2? So 4.
No, 3. So 3 appearances next.
Oh, 3 appearances. Sorry, 3 appearances.
Yeah, 3 appearances in the team a week thus far this year.
Mr. Westerman.
Oh, out the top draw. Well done, mate. Yeah. And Reece Martin as well of Leeds. So Joe Westerman, Reece Martin. Joint 3rd with 4 appearances. Are you going there?
Oh, joint 3rd with 4
Both play for the same team.
I reckon Liam Farrell's been in it more than 3 times. I reckon Liam Farrell's up there with the
4 times.
Sorry, yeah. Liam Farrell.
You're going Farrell? No, it's actually Alex Walmsley and Mike Percival of St. Helens. They've been in it 4 times.
Mark or his brother Mark.
Joint 2nd. So yeah, Mark. Yeah, I don't know. I had a moment there. No, yeah, it's all right, mate. I had a moment there. Number 2, with 5 appearances.
I think this will be Liam Farrell. I think he dropped out a couple of weeks, didn't he, Liam Farrell?
Okay.
Liam Farrell will be in this one.
Well, there's 2 players here, 5 appearances each. Who else are you going?
Jay Field.
It is Jay Field, but Jay Field and Luke Yates have been in the team, our team of the week, 5 times, and joint first with 7 appearances in the 11 weeks in our team of the week.
Well, that has to be Liam Farrell.
And who's the other?
Let me think. Oh, I would say Jake Connor.
Oh, no. Jake Connor's down here with 2. It's actually Tommy Makinson. Tommy Makinson. With 7. So that was quite interesting. I thought, you know what, we'll have a quick look, see who's been, because I think we mentioned this last week, there's been some players that have been in there quite a lot. But yeah, Liam Farrell, Tommy Makinson still the top point scorer in Super League thus far, and Liam Farrell been very consistent all season. Right, this one caught us out a little bit this week. Yeah, Mr. Peters coming to obviously Wigan Warriors fans and Widnes Vikings fans will know him from his playing days. Good evening to Steve, Dejan Matthews, David Senior. Good evening. But yeah, this one was a bit of a surprise, and to be fair, very little from a coaching perspective to say about this man, because he's just not. Yes, he's been an assistant coach. I mean, he's worked alongside Wayne Bennett for a period at South Sydney, which of course for anybody that's a privilege. But yeah, I mean,
well, didn't he go to Wigan from Hull? And then
no, I think he's only played. I'm pretty certain he played. I mean, again, if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain he's only played for Wigan and Widnes in.
Right, maybe our Hull viewers will correct me on this. I thought he went from Hull to Wigan for quite a big transfer fee.
You know what, mate?
And then Wigan signed Luluai and he got kind of pushed out the door. If memory serves me right, if we've got any Wigan fans on here, that maybe they can enlighten him. That one.
I think it was Gateshead, wasn't it?
Sorry, it's when Hull and Gateshead formed.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, it was when Hull and Gateshead formed, and I think they sold him for quite a big transfer
to Wigan. Yeah, but it's an odd appointment, this one. I mean, we've seen this at first hand at Warrington. The hole that up to Michael Mosley, Sarah J. Good evening. We've seen this first hand at Warrington. The void that Tony Smith leaves behind him when he moves on.
I think that the measure of Tony Smith was that Steve Price got Warrington to 2 finals the year after Tony Smith left.
Yeah. And again,
we lost both, but.
It's the same. But it's the same here with Willie Peters. He's inheriting a team that, let's be fair, has been punching. There's no question about that. So
you're right.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Right. More news that's come out as well as Mr. Peters is this week the England Knights, of course, was announced. Some really encouraging signs this for the English game when you actually look down that list of players. Some really, really good talent coming through, isn't there?
There is. Like you say, that's a team that I'd pay to go and see.
Yeah.
Without, I don't think there's any kind of repatriated Aussies in there or anything like that.
Not that I can see. No, not that I can see. No, it's very much British Isles, isn't it?
And the thing that gets me is the pace in that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's pace throughout that. You've got Matty Ashton, you've got Conor Wrench from Warrington, you've got Ethan Havard. Even as a forward, Ethan Havard is not a slouch.
No, it's an exciting team. Obviously, Harry Smith's playing well this season. Will Price is in there. The Wigan contingent of Partington and Smithies and all of those kind of guys.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt Whiteley. I like to see Matt Whiteley. Good player.
Deserves it.
Yeah,
totally. I mean, it'd be interesting to see how Will Price comes back after his enforced layoff.
Yeah. How many more games has he got?
Far away now, can he?
No, he can't be. I mean, we're saying that though. At week 12, it was probably. I mean, he's missed a couple of. He's missed a couple of Challenge Cup games as well, which has helped him, hasn't it? So he should be back for the final.
Next week or the week after.
Yeah, he should be back for the final. I would have thought
that would be interesting to see him in the final.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. Completely and utterly.
It's almost as if it's scripted.
Almost, who's to say? And and a moment ago, you were paying a bit of lip service to some of the what's happening at the moment in terms of players signing on. Obviously, you mentioned Rob Butler going to Wakefield, but Tompkins has signed on again as Catalan. As we've come on air tonight, Connor Wynne has penned an extension to his contract at Hull. So that's a good bit of business.
Speculation that he was going to go to Castleford, I think, earlier this week.
Yeah, he's signed on with Hull, and Salford pretty much the big one. Dion Cross, Watkins and Ackers getting those three players signed up. And of course, Kane Lynette, another player who this time last week we were saying it was going to be interesting to see what happened with him. He's penned a new contract with Hull KR. Still some big players still to do so.
It's funny, isn't it? As we were talking about it last week, kind of things have started moving this week.
Yeah, well, he will, won't he? It's open season now, isn't it? And that's what's going to happen. And some good news if you're a Toulouse Olympic fan. Breaking news, of course, this week was announced as Daniel Alvaro was announced coming into Toulouse. Let's take a look at who they bought. Here he comes in a second. This guy was a 2018 Parramatta Eels Player of the Year. He's a big lad. 114 career appearances in NRL, 6 tries. And good feet as well for a big lad. Good feet, nice offload here coming up. Look at that, nice. And look at this here for a try. Lovely, show and go. Have a bit of that under the posts. So not a slouch in defence either.
He reminds me of Tom Burgess.
He's a big lad. He's a big unit. I think Toulouse will be delighted. Obviously, not only signing him up for this season, but also for next. So good bit of business that from Toulouse, I think. I would have to say.
Tony Smith this week is throwing his weight behind the Toulouse not to get relegated bandwagon.
Well, then no one's getting relegated, are they? Because I just don't think you can do that, quite frankly. But again, what's really good about this Daniel Alvaro is he's only 28. Yes, he's had a bit of controversy. There's a bit of a COVID incident over in the NRL that he was involved in, which tends to be the case when Aussies in the prime come over here. But to be fair, 28, he is in his prime. He's a big lad. Just what Toulouse needs, really, to be even more competitive. And be interesting. Be interesting once the squad's announced if he goes straight into the squad to face Wakefield. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but yeah,
that could be that's going to be a really interesting game.
A really interesting game indeed. Well, so I'll tell you what. Hello. Let's get into some action, shall we? Let's get into some action. What we're going to do this week? Yes, we do talk Super League, Men's Super League, but it'd be amiss of us not to take a look back at the Women's Challenge Cup final. And both me and you were passing remarks on this throughout. It was a very enjoyable 80 minutes of rugby league.
I enjoyed it. Great to see nearly 6,000 fans eventually getting to see it.
Yeah. And Leeds, considering Leeds are not, full of superstars and have not got the resources, etc. That says, but this was a good try.
This is
a great try. I mean, fair play. That's a belting try.
That reminded me of Philbin's try against Saints at Wembley. Although he didn't quite run as far.
Not quite as far, mate. He'd have been on oxygen if he'd have run that far. But
he would this season. But
great try.
It is. She got man of the match. Player of the match. Sorry, let's not.
Yeah, she did. She did. Yeah,
and deserved as well. She punched some holes all afternoon. She was.
She had it.
Played really well.
I mean, there was don't take this the wrong way. We are talking rugby league, but there was some big ladies playing this game. Army was one. Hardcastle for second.
Hardcastle for second. Is an absolute.
Oh,
she's a machine. She's a great.
Deary me. Very, very good indeed. But yeah, I mean, this was, they'd be disappointed with that. That's poor defence, isn't it? I mean, there shouldn't be that much of an overlap on the far side as that. And, Leeds were dominant, I thought, for that first half an hour.
It was a shame because if they'd have held out till half time, they might have had a sniff of victory. But, Jodie Cunningham is an absolute class player. And I said I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but I texted you, said it had to be Cunningham.
It did have to be Cunningham.
Yeah,
no.
She
She's
had
a
a
tidy
quiet
player.
first half, but she's a class apart. She's a superb player.
Yeah, no. Well, no, and I think, you know, one thing about, yes, obviously they don't. It's not as high. You know, they don't run as hard as the men's games, etc. But technically, from a skill level, there's some nice moments in this game. Some really nice moments.
You'd have watched my daughter play for Warrington Reserves against Widnes on Sunday. You would not say they don't run as hard.
Well, okay.
It was brutal.
I'll let her run at me in the garden then. But yeah, but like I say, I say, the Saints prop forward there, she had a big game and all. Massive game. Really, she to be fair, you know, you're talking there about the damage that Hornby did in the game. This was this the first Partington one? They'd be disappointed.
I don't think this was a try, to be honest. I think the Saints player knocked on.
I don't know, mate. I think
the Saints player knocked on.
For me, I think if you're going to dilly dally, yeah, it's good. That's good for a Tuesday night. Dilly dally. But if you're gonna dilly dally, mate, like that, I'm sorry. I've got very.
I think there's a knock on from the Saints player there, but
yeah.
Right. If you hesitate, you're going to get murdered,
mate. I'm not being funny. That's marginal, unlike the offside in the Saints men's first try. We'll get to that one. Which dear me, yeah, Crowell, wasn't it? The lady who.
That was the knock on there from.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Crowell's the prop forward, isn't she, for Saints? Yeah, she had a massive game for him. She was punching holes, but no, I take your point. I do think it slowed down. Probably was a hand there from the Saints player, but they got away with it. Of course, all of these highlights coming from the Rugby League YouTube channel. You know, all the action again was pretty much posted online by the end of Saturday, which was to their credit. This was the Cunningham try. Good pace. There was no stopping her there, was there?
No, I mean she's kind of the Sculthorpe or the Andy Farrell of women's rugby league. Yeah. You know, and she's a Warrington girl. She's a Warrington girl as well.
I know, mate. That'll haunt Leeds. Yeah. I mean, that was not a difficult. I mean, that was pressure, wasn't it? That did that really there. You know, it led to the Cunningham try. I'm trying to remember what her name was actually. What was her name? The scrum half for Winfield Hill. Mate, she's had a nightmare there, bless her.
It was a shame because she had a good game.
She did, mate. She did. You know, she slots that over. You know, it's
game on.
All of us, it's game on, absolutely. But then from there, once Cunningham went over, there's Hardcastle, lovely to Partington on the wing. Yeah. You know, from there, you just didn't feel as if Leeds had tired as well at that point. I think from a fitness perspective, I think it started to show about 60 minutes in, didn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what, though, hats off to the commentary team for this. They were brilliant.
I agree.
It was really good commentary. And I think it was the Featherstone coach? It was mentioned that one of the Saints players had scored against Featherstone in the semi-final, and the Featherstone coach who was co-commentator said, "Well, to be honest, who didn't score against us?" That was brilliant. You know, you get. We've talked about Sky commentary, but that was just really comedy timing. It was brilliant. I enjoyed the whole afternoon because the commentary was
brilliant, mate.
Really good. Kyle Amor is absolutely superb.
Yeah, he's got a career there, hasn't he? He's got a career there after he's finished on the field. But no, I agree with you. I think the commentary was a breath of fresh air. And actually, I don't know who's had a chat with the likes of Noble and that, but they actually were quite entertaining. And in terms of, you know, they were actually, it was proper commentary. It wasn't let's just talk for the sake of talking. It was proper commentary.
Let's not wish each other happy birthday
and all that rubbish. Yeah,
and there was some good, insightful comments made, especially. And they took the time in that game to kind of maybe people who are new to the women's game, to actually tell you. They bigged it up, mate. And I thought it was good.
Mate, they bigged it up, and you know that was encouraging. So well done to the ladies. A fine 80 minutes. I thoroughly enjoyed watching that on Saturday, and best wishes to all the women who I believe it's right saying that the Women's Super League season kicks off this Sunday.
And I tell you what, a big shout out to anybody who wants to get involved in Wigan's rugby. Just get down to your local club and get involved. It's a growing sport, and if we can grow that side of the sport, rugby league is really good at promoting things like that. You know, the first sport to have a disability in a women's World Cup run alongside a men's World Cup. If any girls or any women out there want to get involved with it. It's absolutely fantastic. The standard is superb. It's really good.
I would have to say that we've just got Linda Brown with us. I'm sure Linda Brown would agree completely with Greg, as would Ian Potter, Steve Wilson with us. Alan Wadsworth is with us as well. Great to see everybody joining us this evening. Right, on to the men's game. Last week we were on about this, which way was it going to go, this game between KR and Huddersfield. I fancied Huddersfield. I said that last week. I
fancied KR because of the Tony Smith effect.
You did.
And how wrong was I?
I tell you what I found fascinating in this game, and I fully enjoyed watching it from the moment it started to the moment it ended. The duel between McGilvery and Ryan Hall. I thought it was absolute brilliant. I think it was Latelli as well and Sean Kenny Dowell. The left and the right edge there. It was just absolutely brilliant sport. It was
like two old generals coming up against one another on the battlefield, and it was like
absolutely
Napoleon against Wellington. It was just
it was brilliant, mate. Honestly, throughout the game, and I'd say he's having a good season. That Ollie Russell, isn't he? He's having a good season, Ollie Russell. But yeah, Josh Jones there going in for the first score.
Hasn't Josh Jones got a ban?
What's that, mate?
Hasn't Josh Jones got a ban?
Yes, he is. Yeah, he's out. Banned. Yeah, he's going to be out. He's going to be out against Wigan on Thursday night.
That's a surprise.
But Ollie Russell, well, I'll tell you, all the press is on that one. But yeah, Ollie Russell, I think, is having a great season. Obviously, thrusting due to the Will Price suspension.
It's a shame.
A fine job.
The Kane Lynette experiment just didn't work for KR.
No. I thought again, Latelli, mate. Latelli had a fine game. There's in his senior going down. It was Kudrow, sorry, it wasn't Latelli, it was Kudrow. Leroy Kudrow, McGilvery, Sean Kenny Dowell, and Rhino. And to be fair, tactically, Huddersfield got this back. I mean, Ian Watson, you've got to give him his due. He did it with Salford. He's now done it with Huddersfield. You know what I mean?
And look at all those Huddersfield fans there.
Yeah.
Where are they at the home games?
I don't know, mate.
Come on, guys.
Well, we need Huddersfield to travel down to Spurs in numbers, because I'll tell you now, they have got a genuine opportunity here. Because Ian Watson has put together a fine team this season. It's a well balanced team this season, and as good as I think Wigan have been in patches this year, this is going to be a good final, I think.
I think it's going to be better than people expect.
I agree.
And talking about Will Price, does he find a way back into this team?
Well, one thing's for certain. I think he's going to sweat, which is not a bad thing, And because Ollie Russell, like I say, Theo Farge, I thought was outstanding in this game as well. Ran it really, really well.
Clever. He's a clever player.
He is.
Lola Haya again was superb.
Lola Haya, he's Hull. I've seen
Lola Haya. Timmy Lola Haya.
Oh, to Lola Hoya. Sorry, I thought you said Lola Dua. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Lola Hoya. Sorry, my apologies. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you're right. This was a try. Look at that, Jermaine. Away he goes. Look at that.
Yeah. I stood up and applauded.
I did. I did, mate. Mate, you and me both. I stood up in my living room on that and I thought, Jermaine's son. That was like seeing him 4 years ago when he was, forgive me, probably a bit more in his prime than he is now. But I mean, this is great wing playing. I mean, look at that past Kenny Dowell. Look at that. Just out we go.
And Sean Kenny Dowell isn't a slouch.
He's not, mate. He's not. That was a lovely, lovely try. Was it Kane Lynette that you went past? Was it Ryan Ole? Is this Kane Lynette?
Lynette had gone off by that point.
No, but is that? Oh no, it's not. Is that Will Dagger, isn't it?
Yeah. Will Dagger.
It was Will Dagger. Yeah, but he absolutely sold Dagger down the river, didn't he? Yeah. Absolutely did him.
I think it was a game too far for Hull KR at this point in the season because they lost a lot of players last week.
Yeah,
Lachlan Coote being one of them.
Yeah, Q, and of course, Mikey Lewis has been a big loss for them as well this year.
Kane Lynette.
Do you know what, mate? Didn't get that from the moment it kicked off. He was. It was a waste. I mean, again, you talk about fatigue and things like that. That it was always Trout there going in for one. Fatigue.
His arm was hanging down from kickoff. He had. I mean. There was two kind of experiments. Johnny Lomax, which almost came off, and Kane Lynette kicked off. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, from the moment they kicked off, Lynette just wasn't in there. I mean, for me, they should have pulled him in the warm-up. I mean, there was no way he was going to finish that. I mean, God, did he even get past 10 minutes? I mean, it was just like...
He was off in the first 5, wasn't he?
I've got a lot of time. I've got a lot of time for, you know, we both have for Tony Smith, but I'm sorry, he got that one wrong.
Yeah. But let's not take that away from Huddersfield. Superb.
Huddersfield, mate.
Yeah.
That is, you know, if that's St. Helens, people are waxing lyrical about it.
Yeah.
It was that good.
Yeah.
That you know, they were that good for me. Game management, like I say, the balance of the side looks right. You know, really, really, really good. Really.
That performance reminded me of Huddersfield's performance against Saints in the 2009 semi-final.
Yeah.
When nobody gave them a chance.
No.
Nobody gave them a chance.
No, they didn't. Quite right.
And
you're quite right. But I tell you what was quite funny. I don't know if you've seen it, but you know, obviously the banter started in Kingston upon Hull. The moment KR went out, and KR after the quarterfinals posted semi-finals out for everyone. And anyway, FC used it against them and started posting the same semi-finals out for everyone. Absolute genius. Absolute genius.
When will social media teams learn?
Oh, mate.
You know,
I don't know about you. If that's 20, not 25-0, I thought he bounced that personally.
It wasn't a try.
I didn't think it was a try. Sorry,
it's not a
sorry
try.
to say.
You know,
I think he's rolled. By the time that rolls over the line, it's not over the line there. He's rolling it.
It's downward pressure, and his hands on the side of the ball when it goes.
Okay.
That's not a try. In a million years, it's not a try.
Alan Blythe is with us. Tracy Wilson, she'll be happy this week, will Tracy? We're especially watching these clips. Bruce Hughes, Sean Michael Dwyer is with us. Any relation to Bradley Dwyer? Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, Tracy Wilson, she'll be over the moon.
She'll be delighted.
She'll be delighted, she will. 25 points to 4 in the way.
I didn't see that. I genuinely thought that Hull KR, despite their injury problems, would have come out on top. But like we said, we've got a lot of time for Huddersfield.
Mate, I think Huddersfield this season.
I'm quite glad they've got there.
I'll tell you, mate, I fancy him for top 6. And I'll tell you now, it would not surprise me if they went to Tottenham and won that. It would really not. If they can keep the team fresh and fit, Wigan have got their hands full. Wigan will obviously go into its favourite, and with that comes pressure. And also, pleased for McGilvery, that's his first final, isn't it?
Yes.
He wasn't in the team when they played Warrington.
No.
Many years ago.
There's a few. Chris Hill was in tears again at the end of it. I don't think he ever thought he'd get back to Wembley again.
No, he'll be over the moon. Over the moon. And pleased for him as well. I mean, good pro. Phenomenal. I mean, credit where credit is due.
Yeah, if only Warrington had a prop like Chris Hill and a coach like Lee Breeze, eh?
Well,
imagine what we could do.
Do you know what? I'm not going to be that harsh on. I'm still holding my counsel when it comes to Powell. I think Powell needs to have a season, get his own players in for next season, and then we'll judge Darryl Powell. For me, I think
wasn't necessarily a dig at Darryl Powell. That's it.
No, I get that. But no, I think he should have kept him on. I feel like that's biting us on the you know what, but anyway, that's that. But and then over to what, without question, if that was this
should have been the final. Been one of the greatest finals.
Okay, you know, the cliche in sport, a game of two halves. Absolutely. I thought Wigan for that first 40 minutes again. We've been saying all season how much we rate Wigan, and they proved us right in that first 40 minutes. It was as
and I called it last week. I had a feeling that Wigan would win this.
It's as good as performance that. There's Mark Personal. But
no, his brother Mike.
His brother Mike.
Only Warrington have signed his brother Mike.
That's the problem, mate. When you try and get it all done last minute. But anyway,
don't give secrets away.
Absolutely, but no, I mean, Marshall. Marshall got a lot of praise. Lovely finish. That, to be fair, lovely finish. Yeah. We like the acrobatic finishes. But yeah, I mean, when you consider how good St. Helens actually are, not many teams are going to dominate them for 40 minutes.
I felt sorry for the young kid who dropped the ball there. I thought that was harsh on him.
Yeah,
a young kid making his way in the game. He can do without that kind of
Yeah.
You could see at the end he was absolutely devastated.
Yeah.
Let's hope he bounces back from that.
I'm sure he will, mate. Well, we've seen Sam Wood do that, haven't we? We've seen Sam Wood bounce back from such things earlier in the season. Tracy's coming here. If Rovers wanted to win, then they should have turned up. That's harsh, Tracy. Harsh. I counted 17 players there on the field for Hull KR. I'm not saying they were doing much, but
not at the same time. Surely
all the same time. Not at the same time. Cade Cuss there going in.
Cade Cuss, great try.
Yeah, nicely taken. He enjoyed that one, didn't he? He enjoyed that one, did Arcade.
This is a try, though, the Liam Farrell one.
Mate, Farrell again. I mean, twinkle toes against Warrington.
James Child did his best to, James Child almost executed a textbook tackle on him.
Yeah, to tackle him. No, I agree, mate. 100%. Completely agree. But yeah, here he comes, good old Liam. I mean, look at that, boy. I mean, I don't know where Walmsley's going there, but I mean,
look at where Childs is going.
I know. I'll tell you, but again, you talk about the Lomax effect. Johnny Lomax does not fancy this, mate. If that's a fully fit, that for me is they'll say, oh, his foot went. For me, Lomax didn't fancy that. With his arm the way it was, he just didn't fancy that.
Again, it was another gamble that didn't pay off.
No. But Farrell again, I think from a point of view of consistency, it's all right, well and good. Field has been exceptional. Oh, hang on, here we go. Here comes Conrad Stroud. It's the next one, isn't it? You talk about Field, and he scored some wonderful tries this season.
I tell you what, though,
down the middle is hard.
Burrow is a great try.
Oh, it is, mate.
I didn't think he'd scored it. I couldn't see how he'd scored that, and
yeah, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal try.
Clear try, brilliant try.
Mate, from 10 metres, I don't think there's a more dominant centre. Yeah, in it. But here we go. Right. Now, I'm not being funny.
Look at that.
Now, I'm not being funny. But can somebody... And this went upstairs, did it?
No, it didn't.
I thought it did.
No,
did that was the thing. Upstairs?
No, that was the thing. I mean, apparently James Child had heard the controller of referees was in.
Oh, mate. I mean, that for me, it's not even close.
No. That's why Cade Cuss was going berserk.
Oh, mate, and rightly so. I mean, it's not even close, mate.
No.
It's not even close.
How many times do you see referees take that to the screen?
And it couldn't be any easy. It's right on the 20-metre line.
Yeah.
Right on it. You can see it. And I had to giggle, right? This week in the League Express, the gift that just keeps on giving, the wonderful Mr. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. If there is a player that people cannot stand in St. Helens across the league, it's probably LMS. And he came out with an absolute perler. He said, in the second half, we did everything right to win the game, but it was just a bounce of the ball when they scored, and then it's gone. Mention of the...
How far was the offside from this game?
No mention of the offside there, Mr. McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Very good try there from Roby, though. Got to be said.
McCarthy-Scarsbrook was a mile offside from that kick.
Yeah. And here it comes. Yeah. Oh, goodbye. Good night. Beautiful. And yeah, Wigan. And I said last week, and look, it's not that we've said this quite a few times this season. It's a pleasure to watch the St. Helens team. Yeah. It's a great team. But I think for the sport and for the competition of Super League, this win by Wigan is a good thing.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It puts life into the Super League. I think, all year, I think everybody's been thinking that Saints are just going to counter to it. All of a sudden now, well, no, they're not. And I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah. I mean, God forgive me, but I did actually stand up and clap that try, and may the good Lord forgive me for that. But I agree. There's in football we've got people saying Liverpool going to win the quadruple. I think sometimes that's not good for the sport when the same team wins all the trophies.
No, you want it to be a bit more competitive.
You need competitive sport. You need it.
You most certainly do. You most certainly do. So that was that. That was the highlights and all the rest of it. We will go to how they stand in a minute. But before we do, we're just going to have a little bit of sport. By all means, get involved on the chat in this. We're going to have a little bit of sport just to pass 10 minutes or so. So good evening to Sean Alan Spencer, who is with us once more. We're going to start with our top three in descending order. Australian imports, top three. The contenders, Danny Levy, Mitchell Pearce, Tyrone May, Joe Lovadua, David Fasutia, Brodie Croft, Will Aparti, Curtis Sirenen, Joey Lussick, Billy Magoulis,
Billy Magoulis.
Oh dear, Cade Cust and Cade Ellis. Right, okay. Who have you got at number three? Who would you have as number three? But
I've gone for Brodie Croft.
You've gone Brodie Croft.
Yeah.
Brodie Croft. You're going Brodie Croft.
Yeah.
He's having a good season.
Yes.
He's having a good season. There's no question about that. I put Danny Levy there.
Well, we'll come back to Daniel Levy in a little while.
I think if Danny Levy, I've seen enough of Danny Levy to think that he's quality, the boy. I think if he'd not had that period out as well, might have been a bit higher. But I think he's been tighter. So for me, just based on the fact that, based on what I've seen thus far this season, I'm going to give it to Danny, number three.
Okay.
Oh, Sean's in straight away. He's gone Levy number three. So Sean's going with me. He's gone Levy number three. Tracy,
you again, Sean.
Tracy, who's your no surprises there from Tracy. Who's number three and who's number two, Tracy? Get him in. Dave Wood has just joined us as well. So yeah, Dan Levy, you've gone. Let's go on. Tell us why you've gone the way you've gone.
Brodie Croft. I just think he's added something to the Salford side. You know, it's sometimes you look at the players in the good teams and think, oh yeah, they're a standout superstar. I just think, you know, games against Wigan, for the bounce of a ball, for a better pass, Salford would have won that game.
I agree.
I think he's a player that sometimes when you get Australian or New Zealand players or whatever coming over, it can take them a season to get kind of bedded in. Or in Warrington's case, they just don't. But but I think he had a slow start, but I think he's getting better.
Do you know what, mate? I agree. I think he's a good player, this guy. And if he was behind a dominant pack, it'd be very interesting to see. I think Croft is a class act. Right, who have you got as number two?
Well, I had to think about this.
Hang on, Tracy's come in now. Tracy's gone Cade Cust for her number three. Her number two is Danny Levy. So
I've gone for Cade Cust at number two.
You've gone Cade Cust number two. Okay, that's interesting.
Wigan obviously Wigan are a great team.
Oh, Steve Wilson. Yeah, they're all getting involved now. Steve Wilson's coming in. He's gone Cust third. He's gone Brodie Croft second. So he's put Croft a little bit higher than you. This is good. Well done to the fraternity. Get involved. This is what we like to see.
I think Cade Cust has, again, another one who had a slow start.
Yeah.
You know, I heard some things about in pre-season that he was going to be contender for Man of Steel.
Yeah. And he's in there.
Whether he is Man of Steel material just yet, I don't know. But he's that semi-final performance.
Yeah, good.
Super. I think that's what just pushed him above Brodie Croft for me. That semi-final performance. He was outstanding.
No, I can't argue with that. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got here. No surprises. Tracy Wilson's gone, Mr. Lavadua. As has Sean, as has Steve, as have I've also gone Lavadua. I think he's been outstanding for Hull FC. Really good.
Yeah.
You're not going that way, are you?
No, I've got Mitchell Pearce.
Have you?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Of all the people who are getting involved, including me, you're the only one who's got Mitchell Pearce.
I've got Mitchell Pearce because he had big shoes to fill, and I think he's filled them quite well.
Tell you what, mate, that's a big shout.
And he's had Drinkwater, but he's also Drinkwater's not been there for a couple of weeks, and he's taken the burden of the kind of the playmaker on board, and he's brought what's his name who's playing alongside him now, because he got Morgan.
Tyrone May.
Yeah. everybody was singing Tyrone May's praises the last couple of games.
Yeah.
But it's Mitchell Pearce that's made him look good, and that's why I went for Mitchell Pearce.
Mate, you're not going to left C away, mate. I tell you.
I never do. I can't.
Yeah, you're not going to left C away. I think Loverdue, mate. I mean,
I'm not going to say Loverdue.
He's been unbelievable, mate. Yeah,
I just put Mitchell Pearce.
Everybody knew Mitchell. I mean, we didn't really know too much of Kay Cuss, to be fair. Levy as well. But of all the imports, when we looked at the imports at the start of the season, Loverdue for me, I didn't really know an awful lot about him. I've been amazed by him. Absolutely amazed by him.
He's in my top 5.
We're not doing top 5. We're doing top 3.
Well, there we go.
Anyway, some big players there missing out. Big players missing out. But yeah, well done to those 3. Right, we're going to now change to a different top 3. These top 3 are going to be the top 3 surprises of the season. So what these 3 are, just so that we can line these up for the fans forum. These are players that it's almost a breakout year for them. They've just shone and almost come from nowhere in terms of, not necessarily somebody who plays for you, but somebody who plays for another team, and all of a sudden they've just come on your radar. Examples being, and I've got a short list. Greg, you might have different names on yours, but the short list that I went through all the teams and I tried to pick out some names that would encapsulate this. So Chris McQueen, Ollie Russell, Arthur Romano of Catalan Dragons, Sam Wood of Hull KR, Frankie Holton of Hull KR, Jack Walker of Leeds, obviously coming for Richie Marlowe and doing very well. John Bennison of St Helens, Corey Hall of Wakefield Trinity, and Josh Fewlis of Warrington Wolves. They were the ones that I picked out when I went through it. Have you got any other names that you throw into the mix?
Well, I've got a couple who are different. I put Danny Levi in this one because I didn't know what to expect from him. And I think that's why I didn't put in my overseas one, because I've got him in my surprises, because I really didn't know what to expect this season from him. I think he's been really good.
Yeah.
Tui Lolohea, because he's a standoff and he's filled in at fullback and done an absolutely superb job.
Right.
Andy Ackers at Salford.
Yeah, Ackers has had a good year up to now.
What a great season!
He has. I agree.
You hear the usual names week in, week out on Sky, and Danny Houghton and whoever, and Paul McShane. Andy Ackers is holding his own.
Good player, mate. Good player.
And Sam Wood.
Sam Wood. Yeah.
So they'd be kind of the ones I was throwing around there.
Okay, so let's do these then. So they're the type of people that we're talking about. Again, fans forum, get involved. Who have you discovered this year? Who's impressed you? You probably look outside your own club for this one, because of course, for example, Josh Fewlis. We've known about Josh Fewlis for years at Warrington. He's not in my top 3 because I know him. I'm aware of him. I won't class him as a.
I'll tell you what, though, his brother had a good game against Saints on Friday night. Jake, he scored a good try. He's going to be one for the future.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, let's do it. Who have you got at number 3?
I have got Andy Ackers at number 3.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. As I said, I think he's done superbly well. He's somebody that's flown under the radar. He's doing a great job at Salford.
Yeah.
In a team that it's kind of hit and miss this season. I thought Salford would do a lot better than they're doing this season.
Yeah.
But I think Andy Ackers, he's up there on tackles and meters, in offloads. He's hovering around the top 5 in all of those. Go on.
Sean Allen Spencer's got Connor Wynn. He's throwing Connor Wynn into the mix on that one, which is fair enough. I've got no issue with that. We'll come back to his number 2 and number 1 in a minute. But yeah, Sean's gone straight in there. So Connor Wynn for Sean.
Yeah, who's your number 3?
My number 3 in this bunch will be. Oh, it's a toughie, this one. I'm going to go Frankie Holton of Hull KR. I think he's been very, very good indeed. Really impressed with Frankie Holton this season. Bit of a find. And, big miss for him at the moment. Obviously, he's been out. But, yeah, when he comes back, that's going to be a big bonus for Hull KR. Right, in at number 2, Sean Allen Spencer has gone for Danny Levi, whichever way we're going to say it. He's got him at number 2 in his surprises of the season. Good evening, Mike Ward. Good evening indeed, sir. I'm going to go number 2, Ollie Russell of Huddersfield Giants. I think Ollie Russell, probably wouldn't have had much game time really if Will Price would have been in and around the squad potentially. But my lord, what a phenomenal, what a phenomenal player.
Oh, mate, yeah, he's done unbelievably well, taking his chance. And like we said before, will Price walk straight back into the team when he comes back? He shouldn't do.
No, shouldn't do.
I've gone for Tui Lolohea at number 2 because he's been a player that's been playing out of position for most of the season.
Yeah.
Playing at full back, and he's a number 6. And I think he's
always gone between the two though, hasn't he? He's
always
had that little bit of bouncy
I think he's just cement. For some reason, he's just
Price isn't going to get a look in, mate. He's not. No.
Lolohea this season.
Lolohea was all day long going to be playing standoff this year. The numbers gave that away, but Price isn't going to be going into the fullback role. Lolohea is playing far too.
And that's why I put him there. That's why he's been a surprise to me. I know about him. We know about him.
Yeah,
he's been put in a position that he's probably not 100% sure that he wants to play, and he's made it his own. And you can't say any better.
No, he's done really, really well, mate.
He's got a Wembley appearance on the back of it as well.
He has indeed. And then we come to our biggest surprise of the season. Sean has gone Frankie Holton. So I put Frankie at number 3. He's put him at number 1. Steve Cartledge is with me. I think you're probably going to be with me. I think we're all probably going to be together on this. Number 1 for me has to be Chris McQueen.
Danny Levi.
Ooh, you got Levi. You ain't put Chris McQueen in your top 3. I find that astounding.
Because Chris McQueen, and you've said top 3 surprises. I was a big fan of Chris McQueen last season.
Mate, I think McQueen's been out of this world this year.
So do I, but
he weren't on my radar last year. No way.
Oh, he was stupendous last year, mate. I've gone Danny Levi, and that's why he wasn't in my overseas players, because I think Danny Levi has been superb this season.
Yeah. No, he's been good. So that's interesting. And then we're gonna bring the curtain down on top 3s with this last little one. The last one being biggest disappointment. And we mean that in the with respect. These are rugby league players. They're paid to entertain us. They're paid to represent our teams, and sometimes for whatever reason, the expectation doesn't match the reality, and what we've done is we're going to look at the top 3 players that should be ripping up Super League potentially.
I don't like doing this, but there are some names on there that we expect better from.
Yeah, let's have a bit of sport. So so the short list that I got to when I went through the squads, Aidan Caesar, and Blake Austin at Leeds have to be on this list. David Foster-Tua came with a big reputation. He's hardly played. What I think it was against Warrington against Curry, and Curry smashed him, and he just seemed to wither. And I thought, well, that's really disappointing. Curtis Sirenen of Saints, he spends more time on the sidelines. They got rid of Bentley, and you think, shrewd bit of business, because Bentley spends more time on the sidelines, and then they bring another one in that does exactly the same. Disappointing. George Williams, Gareth Widdop at Warrington, just unbelievably, on paper, you'd argue, potentially the best halfback pair in the league.
Halfback combination
in the league, but completely not in there at all.
However, having said that, with the St Helens pack in front of them, they'd probably rip it up.
Yeah, true. And then the other one again, and the other one for me, Willa Party at Saints.
Injured.
I know he's been injured, but I'm not feeling it. Not feeling it. I have to say. So those were the 3 that I picked out. Have a go again, by all means, Sean. Anybody else who wants to join in, and any other names you throw into the mix on that?
Well, James Bentley for me has been. James Bentley. I mean, for Saints last year, he was. Yeah. When Saints let him go, I was really, really surprised. Yeah. And he's just had an absolute nightmare.
I mean, you could put Matt Pryor in Aledski in that as well, because I think for the first 7 or 8 rounds of Super League this year, you you put Leeds quite high in your predictions for the year, but Pryor and Aledzki, you know, they haven't picked. They certainly haven't pulled up many trees early.
Well, for me, Aledzki in the first 5 or 6 weeks carried that pack, and when we did that early doors season, I had him in ahead of Walmsley because he was carrying the pack, and obviously that's taken its toll. But James Bentley, I mean, you know, get your discipline sorted, lad. You get your discipline sorted, you're a good player.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. Right, we've got a few coming in here. Steve Wilson agrees with you. With Bentley at number 3. Sean's gone in there. He's gone Josh Reynolds of Hull FC in as his number 3. For me, I'm going to have to say Gareth Widdop at number 3. I think last year he was brilliant. You know, I remember taking the mickey out of you, man of steel, and to be fair, he had a really good year for Warrington last year. And when they signed Williams, you were thinking, hey, up here we go. But yeah, Widdop this year for me, again, been injured a bit, but just not at the races for me. Been really disappointed with Gareth Widdop, I have to say.
I'm not. Yes, he has been, but I'm not going to be too harsh on him because he's playing behind a beaten pack, mate. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, but even so, you know, you've got to stand up and be counted.
Of course you have. But, you know, the old adage is your pack wins your games.
But hang on a minute. Though you say that. Let's just hold fire there. Huddersfield are a big pack.
Yeah.
And Warrington showed they could muscle up, and we saw what Riley Dean did in that game.
Yeah.
So for me,
that's a good point.
For me, you know, I'm sorry, but with his experience, if Riley Dean can, if we're saying that Warrington's a beaten pack and they can all run against Huddersfield, then for me, I actually think if you actually watch the Warrington games this season, in a lot of these games, they have been.
I tried not to, but I've had to.
Yeah, true. But in quite a few games, mate, they've been in good field position. They have been in good field position. They have been in the 20-meter, you know, in the 20-meter zone, and for whatever reason, they haven't fired. Interesting.
It is.
Anyway,
it is.
Interesting.
It is.
Interesting.
It's all opinions, mate. It's all opinions.
Number 2.
My number 2 is Oliver Holmes.
Oliver
Holmes. Liked Oliver Holmes at Casford. Thought he was an absolute class second row, a workhorse, a creator.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, but it's becoming increasingly obvious that he's not happy at Warrington. He just, I don't know. He's just not been the player he was for Castleford.
No. He came with expectation.
Him and Nathan Massey were kind of unsung heroes in the Castleford pack. And just, I don't know, there's just a spark missing. And you think with Jack Hughes being out for 4 months, he'd take the opportunity to touch in, and he's just not. Not yet.
No, I can't disagree with that. I have to say, he has been pretty damn disappointing. In terms of where are we now? Steve Wilson has gone Luke Gale.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, Sean
He's missed a lot of games.
Sean's gone a party of St. Helens. He's gone a party in there. Myself, I'm gonna say it. Suriname. I think Suriname for me. When I looked at Suriname coming into Saints, I thought they'd done a right good job. You know, getting rid of Bentley, bringing Suriname in. Suriname came with a good reputation. Without question, he should be doing better than he is. And then, you know, ill discipline. You know, when a player comes in, especially in a pivotal position like that, and plays the way he's been playing, I'm sorry, but that's just not good enough.
Was it the first game of the season, like Bentley? He's
been out twice, mate. I think he's been suspended at least twice. It might actually be 3 times. He's certainly been out twice.
To be honest, better off signing his dad.
Well,
I reckon his dad can still do a job.
You know, I just expected better. You know, 130 appearances in the NRL, 25 tries for Suriname in the NRL from second row. You know, with that sort of statistics behind you, you should be coming to Super League and nailing it really. And he's been really disappointing. So yeah, I'm gonna go Cernan, mate. I'm not happy with him at this point here.
I'm not. If he I'll point him in your direction if he comes and has a word with me.
And you can do, and I'll buy him a lollipop. In terms of,
I'll be running in the opposite direction.
Mike Ward has said a bit off topic here. He's heard that Thompson, of course, he's coming back from Australia. Will he go back to Saints?
No, I've heard big rumours he's actually coming back to Warrington.
Warrington are in for him, Luke Thompson,
Yeah, I think he'll go back to Saints.
They'll have first refusal, won't they? They'll have first refusal.
I think he'll go to Saints, but obviously Warrington, they're a club that are in for everyone.
They are indeed. They are indeed. Right, and then before we start predicting next week, the biggest disappointment in Super League thus far in 2022. Let's get back into this. Who've we got for Steve? He's saying Williams. Williams is poor. Steve Wilson. He's saying George Williams. Sean has gone Gareth Widdop. It's not good reading if you're a Warrington fan. Who are you going with, Greg?
I'm going with Aidan Caesar.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
I was kind of hoping in a strange, perverse way that him and Blake Austin would hit it off, because I feel sorry for Blake Austin, because I thought he was ripping it up, and then he got an injury and it knocked him when he played for Warrington. He wasn't the same player, and he went stale. And I thought, right, if he's with a player who can organise and let him be creative. Yeah. And Caesar's not done it for me.
No, he's not. I think Caesar, like Austin, mate. Do you know what? They're a carbon copy of each other. The first season they were in Super League, you thought, hey, here we go. And you were really excited for year two, because you thought, here we go. They've had a year now. In the same way, like a Jackson Hastings was, when Hastings at Salford, you're like, oh, he's a player, and you were waiting for him to go again. And it's often said that a lot of these Australian lads come over for a paycheck, and at the moment they're not doing much to dispel that myth, are they?
No. That's why I put Leeds as second in Super League this season.
Caesar. Yeah, Mr. Caesar's cost you there, my friend. He's cost you there. Fully enjoyed that. A couple of top threes. We might do a few more of them. Maybe do a few obscure ones between now and the end.
They're not watching.
Well, if they are, we're in trouble. But anyway, we can live with that. Let's get back to Super League. So it's great that Super League is back. Round 12 is upon us. Let's remind ourselves how the Super League table looks. Of course, St. Helens and Wigan, absolutely even, Stevens. We said last week, very, very briefly, great to see, what a difference Lee Breeze has made at Wigan. 288 points, the highest in the division. Obviously, the St. Helens defence, phenomenal, which made Wigan's performance in the Challenge Cup even more impressive, based on how well St. Helens have been playing. Then, of course, Catalan Dragons, Hull FC, Huddersfield Giants. Now, the question for Huddersfield is going to be the Challenge Cup effect, because a lot of the time it can have a negative impact, but I think they've got enough about them to stay in the top six. Hull KR, I fear for them in terms of which trajectory they're going to go. Are they going to go on the downward spiral? I'm just getting a bad feeling about Hull. I think the fact that Smith has announced his departure now, very surprising announcement. Also, some murmurings coming out of the club in terms of the players' surprise, in terms of who's going to be taking over from Tony Smith. That doesn't bode well.
And some injuries as well now.
Yeah, it just doesn't bode well.
A couple of injuries on Saturday as well.
Yeah, you're right, mate.
You got to hope. They were in the same position last season where they got a load of injuries mid-season, and they turned it round. They brought
right at the death. Yeah, right at the death.
All KR fans will be hoping they can do the same again.
They will. Then it's Warrington Cass. Then Leeds, who all of a sudden really dragged themselves out of the mire, but all that can change this weekend. Then Salford, then Wakefield, and then of course Toulouse Olympic will have a massive opportunity. If they have got any chance of staying up on the playing field, then this is a must-win for them this weekend. So let's remind ourselves where the Prediction League is currently at. The Super League Raw Fans Forum, you people who are watching, who every week do your predictions on the Fans Forum page, currently lead with 141 points. Just to remind people how this works, if you get the team right, you get 2 points, but if you get the team and the difference in margin right, you get 5 points overall. So 141 for the Super League Fans Forum, then Greg on 134, and finally me on 3-1. That's where we stand. So, round number 12, let's take a look at it. These are the games. The Huddersfield Giants take on the Wigan Warriors, which of course is going to be a prequel to their meeting.
It's funny how it works out like that, isn't it?
Frightening, mate. Isn't it? It's just frightening.
It just makes the mind boggle how things like that work out.
It does indeed, my friend. Then, of course, it's St. Helens taking on Hull FC. The Catalan Dragons host Warrington. All those top games there, the top three, all on the TV, all on Sky Sports. Then at the bottom there, like you say, could all change this weekend. Salford Red Devils host the Leeds Rhinos. Castleford Tigers welcome Hull KR. And finally, that massive game to bring the curtain down on round 12. Toulouse Olympic taking on Wakefield Trinity. Right, let's get into the first game. Now, this might surprise you. Look at the Wigan side there. It's been announced. Morgan Smithies, Jay Field, John Bateman, Liam Byrne and Liam Marshall will all be rested for this game. That is quite surprising. Kai Pearce-Paul, of course, already out. Thomas Lullaby, we know, is out. Willie Icer out. And Sam Powell, of course, is
still suspended.
Out. I think, yes. So when you look at it, the fact that, I mean, I think that's quite disrespectful, if I'm being honest. But there you go. As for the Giants, Will Price suspended, Josh Jones suspended, Chris McQueen out. That's a big blow. Jermaine McGilvey also out, and Chris Hill out. So
I think unspecified is probably Yorkshire for rested.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah. Maybe our Huddersfield and Yorkshire viewers
continue to tell us which one is going to
let us know if that's right.
But here's the interesting thing: the fans forum, 83% of the forums vote went for Wigan. Interesting, 9-17 as well, which on the basis of what you're looking at there is a bloody good, big shout. It's a big shout. Where do you see it, mate?
Oh, it's a tough one this year. It's a tough one. McQueen and Hill out. Bateman, Byrne, Marshall, Jay Fields one, but Bevan French will probably fit in somewhere.
Be fullback. Yeah, be fullback, yeah.
I tend to agree with the four and Wigan 1917. Yeah.
It's a big shout, that, mate.
I tend to. Plus the emotion of the weekend. I think, no disrespect to Huddersfield, I think the emotional impact of getting to a Challenge Cup final will take more out of Huddersfield than it will for Wigan.
Yeah.
That's not disrespect, but Wigan are used to getting to finals.
Yeah.
And and again, I sound really disrespectful and I don't mean to, but they know how to deal with it in the aftermath. And that's no disrespect to Huddersfield. No, 9-17.
You're going 9-17. I think it'll be tighter. I'm going to go 0-8. I'm still going to go Wigan, but I just think it'll be tighter. It'll be a bit tighter than that. But yeah, interesting indeed. Right, we then go to the Totally Wicked Stadium on Friday night as Saints welcome Hull FC. No Dodd, of course, he's out for the season. Still no Grace. Johnny Lomax has to be out with his bicep. It's not been announced that yet, but be amazed if Lomax was anywhere near this squad at the weekend. Will Aparte, I don't know where the spelling that name came from. Then Hull FC, we've got Joe Cater, Andre Savelio, of course, out for the season. Cameron Scott, Josh Griffin, big loss for them. Alan Swift and Ben McNamara. So, 3 on the bounce for Hull FC.
Yeah, and Hull are welcoming back some players this week.
Yeah.
This is quite possibly the worst time to play St Helens.
I agree.
And I think if Saints had won that game, I'd have fancied Hull.
Right.
But I think Saints have got a point to prove. And I think Saints are going to win. And I think they're going to win 18+.
That's a big shout.
I think
it's going to be a bit tighter.
It's a real bad time to be playing St Helens.
Well, here's one, right? I've gone a bit tighter. I've gone 9-17 St Helens on that. 73% of the form have gone Hull.
Really?
Yeah. Swift and Griffin should be back for Friday, Tracy's saying. That's interesting. But yeah, they've gone Hull by 0-8.
Taylor back as well. I think Taylor might be back for Hull.
I think Taylor is back for Hull. But yeah, so 0-8, the form have gone. You're going 18 plus Saints. I'm going 9-17 Saints. Steve Wilson agrees. No, Tracy and Steve they're not happy with you tonight, mate. They're saying
sorry, guys.
It's a big shout. It's a big shout.
Come on next week and shout at me.
I'm sure they will.
Right. Charles, didn't I? Shout at me.
Indeed. Right. So 5 o'clock Saturday, live on Sky again. Stad Gilbert Brutus will see Warrington Wolves travel to the Catalan Dragons. Quite a few absentees for the Dragons still expected. No Busquet, no Wary, no Tompkins, McMeekin still out, Desiree still out, Josh Drinkwater out, and Samason Lange. They're big losses, no question. But equally for Warrington, no Minikin and Harrison again. I'm waiting for this Harrison to pull on a jersey because I'm hearing big things about him. But
yeah, well, I was actually kind of not with him, but was at a place where Greg Minikin was this week, and he looked fairly as much back to fitness as he's going to be. He must be far.
He's not far off. He's not far off. I don't think.
Minikin can't be.
No, Jack Hughes, obviously, we know is pretty much out for the majority of the season. Ratchford and Widdop still not expected to play, but Williams is back in the squad. Of course, Warrington been a bit all over the place of late, as on Catalan to a degree. Interesting game, this one, where you see this. The fans forum have gone 90% Catalan, 0-8. So they see it tight, but they see it very much in the Catalan favour.
Do you know what? This is Stad Brutus is a good hunting ground for Warrington. They were the only team to beat Catalan there, well, one of two teams, I think, to beat Catalan there last season.
True.
And, you know, based on that, I'm going Catalan 9-17.
Excellent. So you're going 9-17 Catalan. So you're going Catalan quite favourably.
You shouldn't bet against your own team, but the way Warrington are playing this season, I just can't. You know, they've let another prop go when they need props.
But he hasn't been around the team. Yeah, but you say that he's not been around the team, has he?
He's not. But, you know, what if we get a prop injured?
No, I agree. I'm going Warrington 0-8.
I hope you're right, sir.
I'm going to stick my neck out again. I did this a couple of weeks back against Huddersfield, and I got it right.
You did.
I've heard that Catalan have been off skiing. I've heard they've been up doing a bit of bonding. That can go two ways, for me, when you do that. So, yeah, like you say, Warrington have not got a bad record at Catalan. So, I'm sure Steve will say that's a big shout as well. I think it is a big shout, but I'm going to go Warrington. I'm going to go Warrington 0-8.
I hope you're right. I just can't see it.
No.
It's defining. It's these two games, Catalan away and Saints at home next week, season defining.
We've got no chance against Saints next week for me, but in terms of Catalan, I think there's an opportunity. Right, we move on for 3 o'clock AJ Bell Sunday. Oh, what a game this is. So, Salford against Leeds. Salford's absentees, still no Olivet. Sarge Semino's out for the season, right, Greenwood. Yeah. So those are pretty standard now. Sneed. Mark Sneed still expected to not be back with his knee. Yeah. Obviously, 5 losses on the bounce down for Salford. Leeds getting a little bit better. Surprising win, the 12-0 against KR. Nobody saw that. Certainly the 0. But still a massive long list of absentees for Leeds going into this game. This is a tough one to call, this for me. The fans forum pretty much reflect that 52%, only just, going the way of Salford, and only by 0-8. So the fans forum pretty much on the fence and see it as a very, very tight game. What do you see it as?
I just get a feeling Leeds are going to turn up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go Leeds 9-17.
Do you know what? I went exactly the same.
I'm sorry, Salford fans. You know, I love going to Salford. I love watching games at Salford. It's great beer, lads. Don't ever change it. But I think Leeds are going to get the edge.
Yeah, Leeds just seemingly maybe are turning a corner, maybe, and I'm with you.
Mark Sneed was playing, that would change my mind.
Do you know what? We could be right. Look, that for me, you could toss a coin on it. But I think, Leeds, they're in better form. They've had another week off. New coach as well. Let's not forget that. new coaches took over for the first time, so they're all going to be playing, with that as well. Steve was saying it is. I can't see it. Oh, Steve's saying about my Warrior prediction. I think can't see it. Fair play. But it'll be interesting to see how that one goes at the AJ Bell. Very interesting.
I might go down to that and watch that,
mate. If Salford win that, mate, it's game on. That's game on again, isn't it? Because it just tightens it right up again. So that'll be interesting. Right, we then go across to the Menderhose Jungle. Look at these absentees again. Long list for the Tigers. But, up until Catalan, they were in great form. Great form.
Leeds, Robins were in great form.
Yeah, absolutely. So you look at this here, Hull just come off the back of that defeat. A lot of players missing. 94% of the vote went to Castleford, 9-17.
This could go. Here's me, Mr. Chris Kamara. This could go either way, Jeff. Unbelievable, Jeff. It could go either way. One team could win, or the other could, or it could be a draw. But I think the disappointment of Saturday.
Yeah.
The injury at Kane Lynette is a big miss.
It's a big blow, mate. It's a big blow. That
we've praised Kane Lynette from the minute we started doing these podcasts.
Yeah. It's a big blow.
And I agree. I think Castleford 9-17.
Oh, we've all gone.
Yeah, despite the fact that Castleford have got a lot more players out.
Yeah. I
think that the Hull KR absentees.
I agree.
Are more important to the way they play. No disrespect to the players who are out for Castleford, obviously. And I think a defeat often takes longer to get over than a win when it comes to the Challenge Cup, as we've seen with Warrington.
Yeah, I think so. I'm with you. We've all gone the same on that. We've seen that as Castleford 9-17. And then finally, another one. Rosewell took a beating. Don't think they'll come back from that. That's Steve Wilson again. No surprises there, Steve, from you. But yes, on Sunday at the Stade Ernst Wallon. Beautiful. Toulouse.
Say that again.
Wallon.
Say that again. Well on, Rodney. Well on. Mound 2.
Oh, loving it. Toulouse, still no Armitage. In fact, it's pretty much a couple of different ones. Or Matty Russell, that's a blow because he's been in good form for Toulouse.
Scored a couple of tries anyway.
He has indeed. Taking on Wakefield, and look, I mean, it's a carbon copy, isn't it? Really, Wakefield are in really poor form going into this game, as are Toulouse. But Toulouse at home are a competitive side. We've seen that all season. The fans' form have gone to lose 66%, 0-8.
And I agree with him. I agree.
Yeah.
I think they almost beat Warrington. They almost beat Wigan. They beat Saints. They've run a few teams close there.
They have, mate. I agree.
I mean, Tom Lynham missing, Bill Tupu missing, Miller missing.
Miller's a big loss. Miller's a big loss. Miller's a big loss.
I'm a big fan of Jacob Miller, who is out of contract this season.
Yeah, he's a big loss.
Massive fan of Jacob Miller. I think he's a great player. Would love to see him at Warrington. I think Toulouse 0-8.
Fair enough. I've gone Toulouse 9-17. I'm going big on that one. I'm going big on that. It's for all the reasons you said. They're a different proposition at home. Miller is a big loss for Wakefield. Wakefield, when you think, I'm going to go Toulouse. I think Toulouse for their second win, and I think it could be very interesting if Salford and Toulouse were to win this weekend. Deary me, that tightens it up lovely at the bottom of the table, doesn't it? It really does. Good. And of course, this weekend, for those of you who are in the know, and you now will be in the know, the Magic Weekend, of course, is in the NRL this weekend. Every game is being shown on Sky Sports, so you
can't wait for that.
The entire fixtures kicks off on Friday. I think it's two matches a day. No. Kicks off on Friday. I think there's 2 games on Saturday and 3 games on Sunday. Some massive games. Mike Ward, if Salford and Toulouse win, that definitely shakes it up at the bottom of the table. Indeed, Mike, it does. So yeah, and of course 3 games on Sky in terms of the British game. Wigan against Huddersfield, the Saints game, of course, against Hull FC, and then Warrington and Catalan on Saturday. So plenty of rugby league for you to get your teeth into. Obviously, go on, mate.
Just a couple of things before you go. Talking about NRL, our friend Mr. Graham, late of the St Helens Parish, has reckoned that Saints would finish 4th if they were in the NRL. Be interested to see what people think of that.
That's a big shout.
I
don't see that.
Finish 4th?
No, I don't see that. Don't see that. I think they could. I think they probably. I could see him about 8th, but I think to say 4th is a big shout.
It's a massive shout, isn't it?
It's a big shout. I don't see that.
We've not talked about, and briefly,
go on.
This partnership with IMG.
Well, there's not much to, mate. There's not much to go on yet, is there? I mean,
no, it's just.
I've had a read about it. The
cynic in me says it. They'll do anything to stop the Hearns from getting involved and promote the sport properly because it'll show them up. But then you look at IMG and their history.
Yeah,
how they promoted UFC and golf and tennis.
Well, let's hope they get it right, mate. Let's hope they get it right. Let's hope they get it right. But,
deal, yeah.
But
12 years.
I read the press release. There was very little. It was almost as good as the Queen's speech today. Very little to get your teeth into. Not really an awful lot in there to get you excited. I reserve judgment. We'll probably know more in 6 months' time as we get to the back end of the season.
Exactly. I just wanted to bring up see what people think over the next few weeks. We can discuss it next week in more detail, maybe. But
maybe I think as more details come to light, we probably will. But at the moment, I'd reserve judgment on it. Let's see where we go.
Yeah, it's. The cynic in me says it's anything to stop the Hearns from getting involved. When I've done my research and what they've done for basketball, what they've done for UFC, and what they've done for tennis and golf, I'm thinking, okay, then let's give them a chance.
Yeah, no,
but let's say it could be exciting times ahead if we get it right.
It could well be indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much us for this evening. As always, we say enjoy your rugby league. And just in case you forgot, we're going to finish the show, as always, reminding you of the top performance of the season thus far as we look forward to round number 12 of Super League. Greg, have a great week. We will be back this time next week with more Super League Raw Weekly. It won't be the same, but a bit of weekly. We will see you next week.
Enjoy your rugby, everyone.
Thank you.